will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time.
They're willing to die on this hill to ensure that no one needs to present ID to vote.
Right.
Please, and yes, I'm frustrated this morning. Give me a why. We've covered this quite a bit. I did a voter ID is not racist, changed my mind. And I was surprised to come back to the stats, the polling, the most recent polling data showing that more people across the board, and specifically minorities, support voter ID.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to 3 issues for which I have never heard a single valid counter argument. And these are not small issues. Right? Deporting illegal aliens who are also violent felons currently incarcerated in the United States. You have people who have gone to court, liberals who have gone to court, leftists who have gone to court and said, no. We are going to present an argument as to why we should not deport violent felon illegal aliens in our prisons. I ask you, why? I've never heard a case. School vouchers, that's the second one. Attach the funding to the student instead of the school. We're not even talking about cutting funding. Guarantee you once we do it and see schools compete and the schools are better, we probably could be more efficient with funding. But I'm just talking about starting with, instead of going, this money goes to this district, regardless of performance, the student can choose their school and the funding follows them. I've never heard a valid counter argument. Please tell me, those who oppose it, why. And voter ID. Identification to vote. There are those who have gone to court and fought it. Why? Now, I will tell you the only argument that I have heard on all 3 of these issues consistently from people sitting right here in the studio with me is literally racism. That's it. School vouchers, racist because black kids may not have parents who will drive them to better schools in the suburbs. Well, right now they're stuck with one school anyway.
It'll disproportionately benefit black.
But their argument is racism. Deporting illegal aliens who are violent criminals in prison, they go, racism. Okay? And then voter ID. Well, no, we don't need voter ID because Hispanics and blacks can't get they can't get ID. Okay? The problem is that none of those minorities you claim to be protecting, you claim to be acting on their behalf, they don't agree with those making those arguments. And again, I've never heard anything beyond racism. Remember, this is an issue that we have been on forever, and now it's making the rounds again, including this Change My Mind from 2021. I guess we have a clip.
My concern is about ensuring the integrity of our elections, the legitimacy. And so for me, I think the only way to protect our 15th Amendment rights, right, the right to vote, and it shouldn't be infringed, is to ensure that no legitimate vote is wiped out by an illegitimate vote. If someone doesn't have photo ID that confirms who you, how would you ever have evidence of it? If you don't require ID, it's like saying, we don't have any evidence that any underage people have ever consumed alcohol, but the law across the land is you don't need to present ID for alcohol. Well, we'd never have evidence, would we?
Right, yeah.
You can go back and watch that. We'll put a link in the description. The reason this is back in the news is because of the SAVE Act. It's the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act right now. And this law would basically require, certainly in national, federal elections, people have ID, prove that they are American citizens. We just want to make sure that you are who you say you are. That's it. So then we're going to get to some polling data, which may surprise you. But Nicki Minaj posted this on X and, of course, was met with all kinds of backlash from these completely invalid counter arguments. Again, I've still not seen one. And I've heard some convincing arguments where people will argue on abortion. I've heard some convincing arguments that people will make, for example, on marginal tax rates. I've heard some convincing arguments from people saying we shouldn't fight a war on drugs. I've heard convincing arguments for and against capital punishment. I've not heard anything even close to approaching convincing on no voter ID. Please let me know. And I mean that because I will be looking through these to see if someone has got one. Nicki Minaj posted this on X. She said, "What sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID?" Like, question mark, exclamation.
That was a full sentence.
They're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? Yeah, and by the way, this is how people feel. This is what people think when they find out about this. I either encounter people who will say racism because they're dyed-in-the-wool leftists, or I encounter people, and this means thousands of people across Change My Minds, across Talking with People, when I go and perform live, it's either the first one, racism, or the second group of people go, what? We don't have any ID requirements for vote? When did this happen? That is the reaction. This bill is so popular right now that CNN's Harry Enton, my favorite person, I don't care if he's a communist, couldn't contain his excitement. Let's go.
Look at the net approval ratings for Republicans in Congress. This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. Look at where we are now. It's a complete flip.
So voter ID, just so people understand, is the idea that someone shows a photo ID when they go to vote, when they go to cast their actual ballot. But the polling is all on voter ID showing an ID to vote.
Show a photo ID to vote. And the American people are with Nicki Minaj. Because what are we talking about here? So take a look here. Favor voter ID to vote. Look, I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote. 95% of Republicans pretty much all
going.
But even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. So again, Nicki Minaj posting that on X, and what you see is that the American people, actually, it's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats. We're talking about 7 in 10 Democrats agreeing with Nicki Minaj that you, in fact, should show a photer ID to vote.
By the way, if that guy's coming over for Thanksgiving, I give him a seat at the head of the table.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got to say grace.
I'd be like, everyone just let Enton cook. Just let him go.
I'd be very excited about whatever he talks about.
Wow.
Turkey? You smoke your turkey? You got to deep fry your turkey. Wow.
Whoa, pumpkin pie. Look at this. They made their own whipped cream.
Oh, boy. None of that Cool Whip. It's homemade. So everyone supports it. And we'll get to the racial demographics there, too. Well, I should say everyone, except the Senate Democrats who threatened a filibuster. And by the way, this is, I believe, they're threatening their longest filibuster since opposing the Civil Rights Act.
We will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time.
It's not just that they have a disagreement, like they're willing to die on this hill, figuratively, they're willing to die on this hill to ensure that no one needs to present ID to vote.
Right.
Please, and yes, I'm frustrated this morning, give me a why. Any why. I'll even accept racism if you substantiate it somehow.
Ow.
That's the point, I guess.
I've never seen it. And so this should be the end of the segment. But just to make sure we put this one to bed as to remove all doubt, let's go through a claim truth. All right, so the first claim that I have seen from the left, it's voter ID racist.
Rather than changing their message, they are busy trying to change the rules.
Terrible Obama impression.
We are witnessing right now a massive and unabashed assault on voting rights, unlike anything we've ever seen since the Jim Crow era. This is Jim Crow in new clothes.
I guess Jim Crow went to the Gap.
Banana Republic.
Jim Crow got a nice bomber jacket.
Yeah.
You're gonna like the way you look.
Jim Crow and Robert Byrd got some new threads. Got some new kicks. Same old son of a bitch. Here's the truth. Of course not. Of course not. The SAVE Act is popular among all racial groups by an increasing amount year over year.
What's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country.
Pause real fast.
It is not.
That number in 2020, white was 70% support, Hispanic was 66%, and black was 56%.
Wow.
Okay?
They have moved massively.
So year over year, more and more and more and more and more people who are Hispanic and black, and by the way, with a disproportionate increase, supporting voter ID. Maybe they don't like their votes being stolen from them. Let's finish the clip.
That was 2020. Sorry, that was 2020.
That was 2020.
Yeah.
Do we know what month?
I don't know the month.
Oh, because if it's before November, or if it's
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that contributes.
Controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a non-controversy, in other words.
That's very good. The alliteration of Mr. John Berman, that Harvard education, paying off once again.
Harold, and thank you.
That seemed
Even his passive aggressive.
that seemed passive aggressive.
So a controversy. Thanks for stealing my thunder, you piece of shit. But I love working with you.
I feel like Enton said that line in like a run through or like a rehearsal earlier, and then he stole it, and that was his way of going like, oh, look at this asshole.
He pulled a Chelsea Handler. Did you know she used to do that? She would have you submit you would submit your notes before her show, which was pre-taped. You'd submit your notes on the topic, and she would take the best ones, and then she would say it while you were live on air. Well known. So clever. Hey, how many guys has she slept with? Oh, it's a funny shtick.
Who's got notes on that?
It's a lot.
I like vodka and penis.
I ski with my tits out. Oh, it's funny. Look at
The Jim Henson. If Chelsea Handler came out of Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Oh, it's me, Chelsea.
Amy Schumer just comes out.
More lip filler, please. I need these balloons to smack.
Okay, you do it, Josh.
Oh, what are you guys doing?
Electroshock therapy.
Oh, obviously, but why?
To wake us up, of course.
Yeah, to get amped, we got a show to do.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You don't have to do this, okay? You don't have to do this. There are better.
Think gay thoughts. I hear electroshock is good for gay thoughts.
No. Josh, stop. Listen, guys. There are better ways to wake yourselves up, okay? Okay?
Good point, Gerald. We forgot to wet the sponge. The electrical.
Stop
works
whatever
better
in
with
the
wet
green
sponge.
mile you're doing right now and just try blackout coffee. You know the guys that you worked with to make the strange animal blend? Ring a bell?
Why don't I remember that?
One guess. Here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take these.
Okay. Abba's Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Crowder. Use the promo code Crowder for 20% off your first order and try the new exclusive Strange Animal Brew. Yes, I chose the beans. It is the blend that we drink here exclusively, and now I'm making it available to you. Okay, 82% and whatever it was, 76% of black people, they're racist. He's like, this is a non-controversy. Well, better tell the Democrats we're going to filibuster.
Oh my gosh.
That brings us to the next claim. It is still the same one. I'm just trying to be thorough here. Check the references that minorities, they're not able to get IDs because, well, this is, again, the left, because minorities they're too dumb to do it.
Citizens of color were almost 4 times more likely to be without that form of ID than white adult citizens. For lots of the very same communities, like communities of color, that have far more valid reasons for feeling they're not being invited into the process and that they are being targeted and shut out.
Yeah.
You remember Vote or Die?
Yeah.
Yes.
By that weird sex party oiled slathering P. Diddy?
Who said, what is Sarah Palin going to do about South Korea? Man, I'll be tripping.
Right, yo.
I'll be tripping. Proactive, your boy Diddy.
Vote or die.
Yeah. Vote or die. Like, that almost sounds like a threat.
Yeah.
Not because you're black, but partially because you're black.
Sounds like an invitation to me.
Yeah, it does. It does. So here's the thing. Not only do an overwhelming majority of black and Hispanic Americans support voter ID, here's the truth. 94% of black Americans and Hispanic Americans have photo ID.
Son of a gun.
So that's something else they do. They go, actually, immigrants are more likely to obey the law. What they're saying now is they're actually far more likely to not have it. Well, are you including people who are here illegally? Is that? Because 94% seems pretty high. Here's what you need an ID to do in this country: to drive, to register a car, to buy alcohol or tobacco, to rent an apartment, to buy a home, to pay utilities, to obtain government benefits for whatever it is and other services, to have a bank account, to get hired for a job, to receive health care, to travel by air, and, of course, to get a hotel room.
I had no idea what soaking was. Son of a gun.
But you can do it because you have ID.
It's the Red Roof Inn.
Yes.
He keeps it in his merce.
Yeah, I'm most
So you need it for all of those. You need voter ID to get into a fist fight at the Spirit Airlines terminal, but not to elect the leader of the free world.
You know what's funny is these people that refuse the voter ID and it's, I want to do voter ID. They're the first person at TSA when they go, all right, your ID, thank you. And then stand in front of this. Let me take a picture of you.
Yeah, I know.
Let me get your biometrics real quick. Yeah, no problem. I'd love to give you all my data.
I know. It's just, again, I don't even think I should have to go through this, but it's just, they're so paper thin. I'm trying to explore every nook and cranny of this retardation. Here's the next claim. And it's still the same thing, racism. They just sort of, they tell you that voter ID, it's the disenfranchising is what's going to happen or something.
The reason Democrats don't want voter ID
Pause.
is because...
Pause, son of a bitch, pause. I was only made aware of this today.
That her face doesn't match her neck?
There is an extended podcast of The View. In other words, there are some people in this country who have said, I don't have enough of The View in my life. I need the lesser version of The View in a podcast form. And it was given to them.
What's it called?
The View, Behind the Table.
Behind the table. Well, we didn't like the view from the front of the table.
Yeah, I know. Someone's like, I want to know. I want to see behind the table. I want the reverse shot of The View.
Yeah, why don't you turn it around for me?
All right, let's watch. Started from the top, but it's just, I can't believe it. That's a sad state of affairs. Let's go.
The reason Democrats don't want voter ID is because they make it much more difficult for elderly people, people that don't travel, don't have a passport, poor people, that don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws. Less voter ID laws allows more people to vote. And most democracies do it that way. We're the only ones that really don't do it that way.
What? It almost sounds like she was supporting voter ID at the end there.
Most democracies do it the wrong way? What?
No, I think that she thinks most democracies don't require photo ID.
Yeah, okay.
I think she doesn't know anything about the world.
Yes, I think that's a good...
I think she doesn't know anything outside of New York City. People don't have cars, don't have driver's license. What?
Well, I guess let's go with that. So again, I'm just trying to rebut any argument that you may hear, but it still all goes back to racism because here's the truth. Voter ID is common in pretty much all other major countries and no evidence of disenfranchisement. It's not even an issue. You have voter ID in Switzerland, France, Israel, Mexico, India.
Mexico has voter ID laws?
Mm-hmm.
India has like 1.5 billion people, one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, Switzerland, and then Israel, and that could really go both ways.
Yeah.
So it'll offend.
I'd be willing to bet they probably have them in Palestine.
Only if you're a terrorist in good standing.
Yeah, well, I mean, once they have they'll steal your vote.
Well, that's fine.
It's not like your vote matters, but they're still like they have to make it seem like it's a legitimate election.
It's to keep the Jews out. They don't want Jews voting in their elections, and so therefore.
This is crazy. You got these poor Punjabis. They're dodging trains to get IDs to vote.
I know.
And you can't even just hop on a train here and go down to the DMV and get your real ID.
Yeah.
But you don't think that somebody from Memphis can head on to their local library? Like, what is happening?
You have to present a birth certificate to play in Little League.
Do you really?
Yeah, so that 19-year-old Dominicans don't take over your 12-year-old Thunder division.
Because it's happened.
I swear to God, dude.
It's happened.
It's happened. Nobody knows how old Albert Pujols is. Some people say 59. Some people say 80. It's hard to tell.
I thought it was weird. I drove by the local field. I saw Jose Canseco in a propeller cap.
It was weird, yeah. Still juiced.
He's still swinging and missing on a tee.
That's fair.
And then here's the next claim. If you believe this, then fine. Elections are already so free and fair and secure that whatever.
Government and industry representatives from the election security community issued a joint statement reflecting a consensus perspective that the 2020 election was the most secure in U.S. history.
Okay, here's the truth.
He just did a very Donald Trump thing.
I know.
Fired forever.
I know. Even if, let's say that happened to be true, well, then voter ID wouldn't affect it.
Right?
Like,
no, I would zero effect.
Yeah,
right?
in other words, hey, if people think that we should have it to the tune of 80-something%, depending on the polls, from Hispanic, Black Americans, everyone, if everyone supports it, and you really want people, because you say it's important for people to trust their institutions, well, they're telling you what they need to trust the institution of voting, right? They want voter ID. So just do it, because the truth is that's complete and total bullcrap. Since 2020, the left has overhauled, completely, fundamentally changed how voting works by normalizing things like completely unverified, mass mail-in ballots, just sent out to everybody. I got one sent to a house that I hadn't lived there for half a decade. Still no idea if I voted from there in Michigan or not.
One got sent to my house in Tacoma, 2024.
There you go.
Luckily, I knew the people that bought my house, and they, I guess, tore it.
Yeah. So unverified mass mail-in ballots, unsecured drop boxes, ballot harvesting, no verification, of course, the questionable signatures, and of course, no ability to bring forward any proof that something might be questionable. And now the Democrats are just as mad about the FBI raiding Fulton County for the 2020 ballots as they are about voter ID. Also, they're just as mad as Democrats were in the Fulton County election with Stacey Abrams, because there's a documentary on HBO called Kill Chain that you can go watch where they hack the machines and say it was a fraudulent election. But ignore that.
Georgia guys are still so mad right now. They're challenging the FBI seizure of the records. This is breaking, apparently, on CNN right now as we talk about it.
Yeah.
They just want to not let the federal government look into it so badly.
It's like, hey, we want to challenge the integrity of the election there because you guys did a whole documentary about it and proved that it could be tampered with. And like, we challenge your challenge.
No.
Dude, if you were actually doing the right thing, wouldn't you be like, yeah, here you go, take them.
Sure.
Publish their findings.
Yeah.
Let me know when it's done. We'll put it on the news.
Yeah.
What were we going to say, Noodles?
It's like if my kid steals a piece of candy and I ask him if I can go in his room to check for a wrapper, and he's like, no, it's not in there. No.
Dad, I think you stole the candy.
Whatever you do, don't go in the closet. That's my closet.
We were there with you live. And here's the problem. Like, it was the biggest election stream in the world. And we gave you information that turned out to be wrong because in real time we were told that a pipe burst. And that's why the counting had stopped. Do you guys remember that? Comment if you were one of those people there with us that night. We're like, oh, okay. We left, went home, took a nap, got called. Came right back in about 3 hours later, and turns out no, it wasn't a pipe burst. No accountability. That alone is hold on a second. Voting stopped. Just if you're talking about the chain of custody, like there are litany of problems here. And remember, if President Trump had won Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, it would have completely changed the 2020 election. The vote margins, 10,000 votes in Arizona, 11,000 in Georgia, 81,000 in Pennsylvania. And what's most interesting and the most free, fair, secure election of all time is people left the Democrat Party, voted for Donald Trump. He won all of those major swing states. We're supposed to believe that those people who had had enough of the Democrat Party were energized by Joe Biden, flipping the numbers, exactly, and then went back to Trump. You would have to have hundreds of thousands of those people in these swing states for it to make sense, because it's a trend that has occurred nowhere else in nature.
Not only flipping, yet the most votes of all time.
Yeah. You'd have
I refuse to believe that Joe Biden received the most votes of all time.
Right. And the most votes of all time, taking it from Donald Trump, who people voted for, lifelong Democrats. I'll go back to, you know what? I lost faith, but it's been restored by Joseph Biden. And then, you know what? No, I lost confidence again. We're going to go back to Donald Trump in record numbers. Or you could go, hey, people broke with the Democrat Party because they became elitist. And that hasn't changed. They've become increasingly elitist. The only thing that changed wasn't people's enthusiasm for the Democrat Party, but the voting laws changed during COVID, completely unprecedented, no way to verify it. And then there were watchdogs in the next election, and it went right back, plus more votes for Donald Trump. Which one do you think is more likely, beyond, of course, the fraudulent addresses that we verified for you and all of the voting anomalies and the media bias? Which one do you think is more likely? I don't believe that the 2020 election was legitimate. I don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. And I don't believe you can change your gender. Oh, and I don't think the COVID vaccine was anywhere near as effective as you were told. Okay? I question all of it. Anyone who claims to be conservative and doesn't at least I immediately question, like, you really free and fair? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Epstein, what we were told? Really? Okay. Oh, you'll allow people to change their gender if they're a grown-up because they can do whatever they want to do? I don't know if we actually share the same values. Here's the next claim that you'll see. And I don't even, they say that states can handle this. It's not a federal issue. Bullshit. Here's the truth. The states are the ones that are facilitating fraud. And if California wants to have fraudulent elections, or if they want to have fraudulent elections in Georgia, which, by the way, the entire left was complaining about in the Stacey Abrams, I believe it was Kemp, was it Abrams-Kemp election. Whole documentary. Go watch it if it's still available on HBO Max, whatever it is. Kill Chain.
It's from 2018, I think.
2018.
Like yeah.
Everyone was on board. Okay. All right. They want to have fraudulent elections? Fine. We don't want that for the nation. How about that? This is not a state issue if it affects a national election. For example, in California, they prevent localities from asking for voter ID. They don't just not do it. They tell other people, you can't ask for it. And then you go back to why? Something racism.
Because there's no voter fraud. That's why they can't ask for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's already safe.
Yeah,
well, fine.
totally
Let's just use ID. You know, like I do if I go buy a pack of Cools. No. Why? It is a racism thing.
Donald Trump right now and the Republicans, and he's actually calling for the GOP to nationalize the federal election process. What they need to do right now, exactly. I don't know all the mechanics behind that, but what they need to do right now, end the filibuster and make sure that you pass the SAVE Act. I don't care. You would win overwhelming support by doing that because everybody supports this.
Let's phrase that another way.
Listen, mechanics, I get it.
The fascist Donald Trump is trying to nationalize national elections.
Okay.
Well,
son of a gun.
3 issues on which, again, I repeat this, I have never heard a valid argument. School vouchers. The money follows a student instead of given to a corrupt school. Deporting all the illegals who are currently in our jails and committed additional crimes. They shouldn't be here. Requiring voter ID. Those 3. The left actively fights against them. And their reasons obviously make no sense, but you can understand the motivations. And the motivations would be, well, school vouchers, that would remove a lot of power from some of the most powerful lobbying groups in this country, including the teachers' unions, public education. Deporting all the illegals in jails, that would really just be something where, honestly, I don't even see what the motivation is. I don't even see what the motivation, I don't get it. Voter ID, that one's obvious. The motivation would be it makes it harder to harvest votes. It makes it harder to cheat.
Yep.
Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the Live Daily Show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.